All right, here I go. Um, this is a sound only review of Kamen Rider Decade. This is the series review. I'm actually looking at my blog spot of the series review just so I could take some notes, but I'll I'll add to what I already wrote down. So let me see. Mic on. Let's get to it. Now, the first Kamen Rider series that I've seen was Kamen Rider Double, which because Versus Z was always talking about it, I decided after um, I think I finished Turner Gundam, I decided to check out the first episode on YouTube. There goes my computer again. So the first episode was intriguing. It ends in a cliffhanger, so I saw the second episode, and eventually, between like the comedic nature, the fun nature of it, and the case solving involved, I liked it. I kept watching the rest of the series. I downloaded the rest of the episodes from TV Nihon, since on YouTube it was plastered there, like TV Nihon. And so I said, let me check this out. And TV Nihon is a good site because, unlike some other forum sites, they want you to register and log in so you could download stuff from there, and that's not cool. I mean, if if you're doing something, because in their videos I mean in their subs they say, not for sale and not for stream, just I guess for download. So, you know, you shouldn't be charging for something that you didn't make. You didn't make the subs, but like other websites that do charge and stuff is not cool. So after I got up to the last episode that was available of Double, I decided that I was gonna watch Decade. I think I was up to Double episode 46, or no, it was before. I thought the series was gonna end at episode 40, but it's way up into the. I think it's gonna end next this this Sunday coming up. I think it's episode 49. So I liked it, and I decided to try out Decade. I watched the first episode of Decade, and I was like, WTF, a flying castle? And there's this like robot going gong 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 gong. It sounds really dumb. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is Kamen Rider. So I watched the first episode, and I was a little confused. I didn't like Susaka from the beginning because, it's like the customers come complaining to the store, and then it's like it's Susaka's fault. And Mitsu, the girl, Natsumi, goes and gives him the stupid inheritance trick with the thumb to the neck that makes him laugh. It's supposed to be funny. I was like, this is dumb. This is stupid. And then all hell breaks loose and they get separated. And Natsumi finds the Deca driver. And when she passes it, she has it, it's all busted up. She passes it to Saka, and it comes out like new on his side. Now, watching the first episode again, I'm thinking that Natsumi was in a. I mean, she was in an alternate reality, but maybe when they started out on Natsumi's world, and then the Natsumi that ends up with them at the end isn't the Natsumi that was the Natsumi from the beginning, which is complicated. But it's kind of weird. I don't think the series explained what, like when he had the ride booker, he has all the cards. He uses them and one use and then it's gone. And I'm like, why? Why is this happening? Now that I'm seeing it again, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I guess it's a one-time thing with the cards. So they travel the worlds. They go to Kiva's world first, and let me see. They go to Kiva's world. That's the first. I wrote down that there's three annoying things that I have to henshin off my chest. I didn't like Tsusaka. He's supposed to come off as a tough guy. The end did it much better. But I think Tsusaka is more annoying than tough. It doesn't help that in the opening credits he's crying. He's like, "Ugh," and someone passes him his camera. So, yeah. And I never liked when he says, "This might tickle a bit," that line. Um, and if you watch the episode with Kiva, the kid turns around and he like pushes him, like, "No, don't turn around," and then turns him into the Kiva arrow thing. So, Tasaka's a jerk. I never liked his character. I was never rooting for him. I never felt sorry for him. I just was like, what an ass. The second I already mentioned is the dumb jab. Um, what purpose does this do? Only once when they were in the Deno world did that work for something. And I always felt like the actors were faking the laugh. WTF. And three, the third thing that I don't like of the series is the Narutaki guy, aka the guy in the shadows with the stupid hat and the stupid glasses. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing the actor. I'm not saying he's a stupid looking guy. I'm just saying the character, he's like, Decade, you'll destroy the worlds, and he doesn't do nothing about it. In the episode with Black RX, Decade and Narutaki, they're talking face to face, and no one says, "Why are you telling me this? Why are you saying I'm gonna destroy all the worlds?" And incidentally, when I did watch the first episode again, the Wataru, the original Wataru, I think, tells Tusaka, he tells him to destroy the worlds, but then he tells him to save the worlds. So which one is it, right? I guess if someone tells you, someone says, pick up that book, don't pick up that book. What do? You do the second one. You don't pick up the book. So I guess he saved the world. So that was retarded. And Narutaki does nothing and nothing until he reveals his true colors in one of the movies, and it's still like, huh? That came out of left field. Where was that coming from? So, I don't know. I guess it's all Decade's fault. And to top that off, everyone knows who it everyone knows when Decade shows up in the alternate writer world, everyone's like, "You're Decade, destroyer of worlds." But by the end of the episode, it's like, "Oh, you're a good guy. That's cool." You know, I guess Narutaki was jumping from world to world saying, "Decade, Decade, this and that." But I guess it doesn't matter. And what I do realize about Kamen Rider that I like is that with Decade and with Double, they look like Spider-Man. The helmet design with the big eyes. I know they're supposed to look like bugs. I think the original Kamen Rider was inspired by a grasshopper or something. But I like the. I think Double's design was what put me in. And like with Kamen Rider Double, each episode arc is made out of two episodes, except for the first episode, which is like the introduction to the world. So, the first stop is Kuga's world, and I'm gonna spoil it. In Kuga's world, Decade disturbs a tomb. He punches a girl in the face, who eventually dies, and he laughs at the end. I mean, he doesn't laugh at the girl dying, but it's like he tries to lift Natsumi's spirits, and she says, "That's creepy." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's creepy, dude. Stop that." And then the kid who plays Kuga decides to stow along with them. Then the next world they go into is Kiva's world, where Decade humiliates a little boy who has trouble deciding to be a king. Kiva's dad does all the work. Um, it's an interesting world. Kiva being a little kid reminded me of Billy Batson and Shazam. Um, I realize now that I'm watching these older shows like Kiva and Fies, that these alternate reality worlds are nothing like the show. Actually, I can't say I like the Kiva show better, but this Kiva world in Decade wasn't really interesting to me. The only interesting thing was the little kid, and I did like the Kiva bats. I like Kivat the third. I think he's funny, but Kiva La doesn't. I don't think she exists um in the real Kiva world. I haven't gotten that far. I'm only up to episode 10. And then Kiva La, um no one no one ever figures like that Kiva La was working for Narutaki, and there's a scene where she bites his finger, and it always seems perverted to me where Kiva La bites Narutaki's finger. But it's like I thought that eventually Kiva La was gonna betray them, which I guess she kinda did, but they didn't find out, so they kept her on the team, and nah, all is forgiven. The next world is Ryuki's world. Um, things look familiar and they resemble Dragon Knight. I mean, you know, Kamen Rider Ryuki was adapted into Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. That's why I'm laughing. So it's a weird world where justice is dispensed by a rider winning a fight. It's like Natsumi is convicted of a killing, and like the rider who thinks that she's innocent is fighting, and he has to beat the rider who thinks that she's guilty, which is whack. That's whack. It's I guess it's the equivalent of fighting someone else to get a job. Like if your boss was, okay, fight, whoever wins gets the job. That's you could, if you're a big brute and you have no skills with this job that you're gonna win, you'll win, but then you do a horrible job and then you'll get fired. So it's retarded. Um, I don't, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said before, Dragon Knight or Ryuki's original series and this Ryuki alternate rider world are two different stories. I think there's like a rider war in Ryuki. Meanwhile, here they fight because it's for justice. um, I never liked the design of Ryuki. I think it's one of the worst Heisei Kamen Rider looks. Um, for the main lead. Usually when a main lead gets an upgrade, they get uglier. I don't like Cyclone Joker Extreme, and I didn't like Decade Complete Form. They look dumb. But what I don't like about Ryuki is it looks like he got bee eyes under like a strainer, so that's not cool. But I do like I was trying Dragon Knight. It's all right. It's a little cheesy, but the quality of the videos that I was watching wasn't that good. So I'm gonna start watching it off its official website for kids. Then they go to Blade's world. Decade once again proves he's an arrogant jerk by climbing the corporate ladder. I do recognize that when the writer assistant becomes boss, it's like what everyone wants in life. They want to climb the ladder so they could be on the top, so they could boss people around. Let me see. I do remember that the dude who played Blade, he was really happy in the picture. It was memorable. Someone Decade finally made someone happy. Now this world and Blade, I'm watching Blade. I'm up to like episode 8. For some weird reason, I couldn't decide which Kamen Rider series to stick to. I was watching Kiva and I started to get bored. So now I'm watching like 4 series at the same time. I'm watching Kabuto, Faiz, Blade, and Kiva. I've watched all these series up to episode 10, except for Blade. I'm at episode 8. So when I get to episode 10 of Blade, I'm gonna watch from episode 11 to 20 of each series, alternating. But so far, out of the 4 of them, I think I kind of like Kabuto the most, and then Faiz. But enough of that. So the world of Blade is really different from this. It does involve board and Kamen Rider, Chalice, and all that stuff, but it's way different. The next world was the world of Faiz. I was looking forward to this one because I guess when I used to buy used Hobby Japan magazines, I would see Faiz in it. It was weird because I think I had invented a design similar to Faiz way back when I was younger. It wasn't a Kamen Rider, but it had like a circle for the head and like a little bit like a cup to show the chin. And it's unique. It's a unique look, and it's weird. It's a big circle for a face. So it's a flashlight head with a divider down the middle. I didn't know he was a rider. I didn't know what Kamen Rider was when I saw him, but I do like the henshin for Faiz. With the phone, you go bleep bleep bleep, standing by. So this world we get introduced to uh the end, which is the second rider in the series. Usually series have more than one rider come along. In the series that I've been watching, each of them has like 2 riders before the 10th episode, except for Blade. Blade has like 3 riders already. So it was a weird world where students turn into a monster, and there was a big reveal that the guy turning into Faiz was an Orphanok himself, which I'm sure in the series that I'm watching is gonna be revealed, so that was spoiled for me. And then we go to Agito's world. Kuga meets a counterpart of the policewoman that died in his world, and he begins a creepy pursuit of her affections. I told myself, dude, she doesn't know you. She can't like you the way the other girl did, if she even likes you at all. And I was right. She liked the guy who was Agito. The armor concept was nice. I, um, I, Agito and Kuga are 2 series that I'll probably watch after I get done with everything, because thing is they look the same. I'm sure the stories are different, and Hobo Joe Odagiri is in the first one with Kuga, but they look too similar. I know Agito has more riders in it, like the G4, G3 armor and Exceed gills, but Kuga only has lots of different forms. Eventually, I was told by one of the employees at Image Anime that Agito is a good series, and I watched the first episode, and it was all right. Let's see, when I'm done with the four that I'm seeing, I'll try it out. Then they go to the world of Deno, and I was creeped out because it was like possession in a kids show, and it's supposed to be cool. Imagine living in that world. It's like, honey, I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts to get breakfast. You go outside and you find yourself not coming home because some Imagine possessed you and decided, hey, I'm gonna go have some fun with your body. I have to admit, Dano had its funny moments. This little arc, when Dano gets exploded off the roof of the building, he flies off like kind of funny to the side. He goes rah, and then when he's falling, they add some sounds as he moves his arms like ree ree. At the end, the this Deno arc, it ties in with the movie, the Ani Onimusha Warship, and but the characters from Decade only have cameos in that movie. It's like the end shows up, throws a card or something, or summons some riders for the other Imagines to possess. It's not really a Decade movie. It's a Deno movie. I've seen the first two episodes of Deno. I mean, as of this writing, I only saw two. But as of now, as of the sound only review, I've seen the whole series. The Imagine can't just possess anybody, so that's one thing. They usually can possess someone who's a singular point, someone who's exists out of time. So it's not like the Imagine that come from the future just jump into people's bodies. They have to ask them for a wish, and it usually involves some point in the past. And then when the wish is granted, it doesn't matter how it's granted. If someone says, I want lots of money," like this one dude did, the Imagine filled his room with money. It's not like, I want to spend this money that I have. It's just, yeah, you have a lot of money, your wish is granted. I'm out of here. I'm going to travel through your body into the past. So Deno turned out to be way better than what I thought initially. Then we go to the world of Kabuto. It was an interesting world. I think on the Henshin Justice podcast, they mentioned it was like Kingdom Come Flash. He was like one with the Speed Force and protected the city. I'm sure when the series was created, they had the Matrix in mind. And it was interesting to see the worm's abilities to mimic people. But the idiots in this TV show were stupid enough not to notice two Tsusakas in the same house. And I was a little confused at the beginning. The end was okay, but as of this writing, I had no interest in Kabuto merchandise or the series. And now that I've seen 10 episodes of the series, and the guy from Image Anime said it's one of the best along with Agito, Kabuto is basically like the Flash. I mean, whenever he clocks up, they slow everything down, but it doesn't look as bad as the Flash TV show from the 90s. And it doesn't use bullet time like in the Matrix. But he's basically a vigilante. That's why Zect is always chasing him in the series and in these two episodes. But he's a weird guy because of his grandma. His grandma told him we would walk the path to heaven, so he kind of like believed it. I mean, he believes it, but he studied and trained like for like 7 years to become like the best fighter. And with the Kabuto Zector, he becomes a badass. It's a good series. I would recommend it. So then they went to Hibiki's world. Ugh, God. I heard of Hibiki having a unique style and it was plagued with controversies. It didn't float my boat. The whole musical thing was lame, and when I saw the first episode, the first sing along part thing totally took me out of the show. I remember a kid trying to jump off a boat, and then the protagonist goes into like the forest with his aunt to do who knows what, and they get attacked by Oni, and then Hibiki shows up, and I don't know, it was weird, not cool. I I think if anything of the Heiseis, Hibiki's gonna be the last show that I watch. I don't know if I'm gonna watch any Showa shows because they look old and the suits are dumb. I watched the intro for Stronger and I was like, he has a puffy thing on his chest. Then they go to the Nega world, which was kind of lame. Natsumi was like, my friends, my friends, my friends. She was just stuck on that damn idea. It was not. I guess they thought they finished traveling, but everyone was like on their own, and I don't know how they couldn't notice there was something wrong. And Decade got the touch. He got the touch. Yeah. All right. Let me see. So the world of the end was all right. I liked the DN driver, and at first it was hard for me to like the DN costume, but I like the costume now. It's a weird looking rider, but I like it. In his world, you find out that he's been accumulating treasures to liberate his world. After that, we have a crossover with the Sentai world. Um, I never liked the Power Rangers because of their Zords and their costumes. I did like in this episode the evil D End. It looked really sinister. And I like even how the sounds that the DN driver make are different. Then we get to the world of Black RX and Black. Um, Black and Black RX don't look cool. The designs of the suits don't look cool, but I did like the old guy because it's the original guy who played the Rider in the original series of Black and Black RX. So he's older. He kind of reminds me of Bill Bixby, like a Japanese Bill Bixby. And like I mentioned before, it's good to see an older person as a writer. Um, if they make a series, they could probably have like the mentor character be a writer, maybe in O's, but I doubt it. Um, and also these two episodes, we see that they're two different worlds. Even though it's the same guy, one guy wears white and black. He wears a white coat, black shirt underneath, and the other one wears a black shirt coat with a white shirt underneath. And when they meet each other, it's not like, "Who are you? You're me. If you're me, then who am I?" It's not like double identity too. But it's like the one of them just nods at the other one, like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's kick this guy's ass, Apollo Geist." So I liked it. I like this little arc. But after that arc, we get the ugliest, most weirdest Kamen Rider and the world to boot, with a slight hint of a Sig Heil. I didn't like the arc, but I do find it funny that even when the Joker, I do find it funny whenever the guys in the black bodysuits go ee. So by this time, by the time you're up to this episode, you have to watch the movie Kamen Rider versus Dai Shocker, and then come back to the series for the finale. But the Amazon Kamen Rider looked ugly. It looked like a frog. Um, the guy, the guy, on Henshin Justice, they said that the guy who played Amazon, he was like, "Whoa, man, I'm a Kamen Rider." And he was a bad actor, but I didn't. I don't want nothing to do with Amazon. Ugh. So the last two episodes is the Rider War. But it's not much fun because most of it revolves about around Apollo Geist, and the whole arc, the two-story arc, ends in a cliffhanger. But since Bandai and Toei want your money, you gotta watch the movie Rider War 2010. But at the end of the movie, they just keep traveling. And it's like, wait, so the worlds are saved? What are they gonna do now? Do you know how you were gonna end this thing, Mr. Rider Riders? um, Decade was one of the shortest series in the Rider lineup. It's like 30, 31 episodes, 30 episodes. I feel like a lot of things weren't wrapped up. I did like that Double showed up in the Dai Shocker movie, but it was a promo for the series, just like they did with the Gaia Memories movie. It's like, oh look, there's O's. Watch the new series, please. Take my money, please. Would I recommend watching Decade? Well, the series helped me see little glimpse of each TV show, and it opened my eyes to some interesting concepts. Um, I like Double more than I do Decade. Double is funny. Decade isn't funny. It's confusing. Double has a cool theme song. Decade has a theme song by Japan's version of Michael Jackson. Gah! He even showed up as Rider Man in the Versus Dai Shocker movie. Double has a villain of the week, and while the concept is hated by a lot of people, I think it's interesting if used well. I think the Evangelion TV series did that well, where each episode a different angel would show up. And the first series of Smallville also did that. So I like the villain of the week concept. In Decade, I had no idea who's the bad guy. Supposedly Decade, if he was more evil, if he was supposed to be this destroyer of worlds, I would have liked him more. So I have to say, as my final word, if you're really interested in watching Decade, then go ahead. But I would recommend that you watch Double before this, because that's how I did it. Double is still airing in Japan, and like I said, the final episodes airs tomorrow, Sunday the 29th. And depending on how it ends, I still say that the Double is a better series. So do like me, and if you're a Kamen Rider fan because of Double, watch Decade. But as a starting point to get into the world of Kamen Riders, I say the nay, and so does Obama with a rider card. All right. Thanks for sticking through. I know it's about 34 minutes, but I used to do my podcast, which were about the same length, and people still liked it. Bye.